Veronica Harris Show. I am your host, Veronica Harris, here with my little big brother.
Veronica, you look nice today.
Gregory, you didn't say who you are.
Oh, they know me, Gregory. They know me.
Well, thank you. You look nice today too. Okay. We both looking nice because we have a very nice guest, a very spiffy dresser in his own right. Mr. Gary Barnes is here today.
How you doing?
Good. Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you.
Great.
Okay.
And although we know that he has a very extensive basketball history. I mean, there's a lot he can tell us about the Rucker. But today we're going to talk about, primarily, we want to know about your work with the youth, your motivational work that you do with the youth and with the Roving leaders that you do, like, primarily. And do you do anything else besides your work with the Roving leaders? I think you said something about special investigator.
I do a special investigation for the D.C. Superior Court Criminal Justice Act. That means we help indigent defense people. I help their lawyers investigate their case. So we help people. We don't lock people up. A lot of people, when we go to see them, they think we on the police side. We like, nah, we here to help you.
Okay.
But that's something, just to do. But my main thing
just to do.
is kids, because I grew up in programs. And if it wasn't for programs, I might not have made it to college and what I am today. And right now, we don't have a lot of programs to help kids that have difficulties. We have programs to help kids with special needs, but it's the difference between special needs and difficulties.
Well, tell us about that. What is the difference between special needs and difficulties?
Well, the special needs is something that comes under medical. You have a disability or something. Now, those kids have places and people that help them, but kids with difficulties, a lot of people don't like to touch them, meaning might not have a father, and that used to be, but now they might not have a mother because more women are going to jail now than ever before. So you really have kids out here now whose mother is incarcerated, which is very difficult, especially for a young boy. All boys love their mother, and most girls love their father, no matter what happens. So you take this young man's mother and lock her up, or you take this young man's mother and abuse her, you creating a monster. All right? Don't nobody care about my mother. Why should I care about you or your mother? You understand?
So where we going to go with the show today, Ron? What you want to talk about? What you want to delve into today?
What we're delving into today, we're delving into Mr. Barnes and his work with the youth, especially the Roving leaders. We're going to talk more about that and what he does here in Washington, D.C.
Why are you interested in that?
Why am I
don't
interested?
have any kids.
Why you got to bring that up?
Because you're selfish. Nah, I'm kidding.
The reason, well, as you know, I am an educator, and I have been a coach, and I used to, run my program. I built my program from the bottom up, and it was all about helping kids. And that's the one thing I can honestly say. Our little sister, Valerie, what she always said to me, that always made a sense to me, she's like, Veronica, it's for the kids. And every decision that I make when it comes to teaching and it came to coaching, I used to say, it's for the kids. Like, if it did not benefit the kids, then it wasn't a decision that I needed to make.
And why Valerie had to remind you that all the time?
What is this? This is not.
You selfish.
This is not an interview, Veronica.
You know how the oldest child always selfish. She was selfish, man. She sold me a French fry for $1 one time.
You will still tell that same story. Aren't you gonna let it go like Frozen? Let it go.
A French fry for $1. That's how selfish she was.
And that's how bad you wanted it.
You bought it. Thank you. Can I get a high five on that one? Thank you. Nobody ever brought it to us that way. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's about the kids.
Yes, it's about the kids. All right. So anyway, the program that you do with the Roving leaders in the summertime, you do sports with that.
Well, we really don't get involved with sports.
No?
We take young men, like I said, and they are referred to us by their parents or other agencies. And we take them down to Walker Jones every summer from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock, because we give them an opportunity to go to summer school, because a lot of them go to summer school in the mornings, and then they come to us and they get paid. We pay them. And we go through career training, hygiene, all the things that can take a young man and make him a grown man. All right? We deal with drugs, education, peer pressure, bullying, how to dress, all these type of things. And we only have 8 weeks. And in 8 weeks, we trying to make this kid a better person than he was when he came there. It gets rough sometimes. We have some that come in there who have just been doing what they want with the school system, with the juvenile system, but we haven't had, this would be my 3rd year with Mr. Holloway, we only had maybe 1 or 2 who quit. We've had more that started out mad and at the end don't want to leave, because at the end we give them a boat ride. We go out on the Spirit of Washington and we have all the food they can eat. I mean, lay it out. And they come back. We have some that want to come back, but they're too old. And we tell them, you got to move on. And we try to place them in a job because they just can't stay there. But we don't do no sports. No, we don't do no sports. We man training all summer. You know.
So 8 weeks, that's only 2 months. Do you feel that's enough time?
Oh, it's not enough time, but it's better than nothing. You know, and maybe and then during the winter, the Rover Leader program is a full-time program. I only deal with them in the summer, but during the year round, they have different guys that are spread out all over the city in different neighborhoods, and their job is to outreach to the young kids who need help, girls and boys, and try to identify problems before they happen and be in a prevention mode instead of responding mode. Just like right now today, the kid got killed and they're gonna have a ceremony for him tonight, and the mayor and everybody's gonna be there, but that's responding. We have to prevent.
I'll tell you, I got a question there, because you talking about, you know, that's responding, and I'm on the side of, you know, trying to solve the solution before they solve it. And I ask this question a lot of times to many of my administrators and, you know, people that deal with the youth like you do. What do you think should be taught in the education curriculum that's missing right now?
Well, one thing that's missing that I took was hygiene. You know,
Y'all
so
had
if
a
you
class
look,
for that?
oh yeah, we learned how to put it under your arm, brush your teeth, and all that. You know, because somebody at home might not be teaching you that.
Really?
All right.
They used to have hygiene.
Oh yeah, and the girls used to take economics, so they knew how to cook. They didn't give up oodles and noodles when I was growing up. You know, they knew how to cook a whole meal. You know, bake the chicken and all. So survival skills is not being taught in the school system. The school system makes the kids where, as long as they come to school every day, they're comfortable, not realizing that at the end of 12 years, you got to go. Have we prepared you to have life after school? No. You know, all kids don't go to college. Do we have vocational training anymore? No, they took all that out of public schools.
They took that out and replaced it with what?
Everything is
Handwriting,
reading and math.
The hard sciences, the math, the STEM.
Just whatever they need for you to pass a test to make the system look like it's teaching you. That's what we all into now.
No child left behind.
All right? No child left behind means we're going to take them all to war or we're going to send them all to jail. That's what no child left behind means.
Okay.
All the war, all the
All right?
jail.
It ain't no war, so they're going to jail. When there's a war, they're going to fight. Because you're not preparing them for life after school. When you let us kid come to school at 10 o'clock every day, you're preparing them for failure, because if he get out of school and you give him a job making $40,000, if he's late every day, he's going to lose it. So attendance is real important. But we have a policy in D.C. where we can't turn a kid away no matter what time he comes to school. So if you let him come late from the 1st grade to the 12th grade, how are you going to be on time when you get a job after the 12th grade?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because our high school tried to have an attendance policy, and we told that was against the law. Like after so many absences,
Something got to be done.
You had to be. You could get
Something got to be
suspended, or
done.
you could, have to go to credit completion, or you would have to, like, if you missed my class so many times, you would be put out and put in the study hall, and then you would have to come back for credit completion.
You got to make it up.
But now they told our old principal that no, that was against the law. You couldn't do that. So now you could be as late as me.
Anytime you want.
What is it?
You can't turn them away. And you know what the excuse is? Well, the kids got to eat. All right? So you got to let them in the school, because a lot of them come right before lunch. I'm talking about high schools in D.C. They come right before lunch, eat lunch, and after lunch, school empty. You can go to all these public schools in D.C. right now, Roosevelt, Coolidge, most of them, after lunch, it ain't 100 kids in that building.
Really? Is it, Gregory?
I mean, I didn't notice the attendance was that low, but
Then you have an attendance counselor who has a job, but he's discouraged or she's discouraged because you could send the paperwork downtown and say, this kid ain't never been to school. They send it back and ask you, well, what have you done to correct it? And let me see his test scores. Now, if he ain't never come to school, how you gonna have some test scores? So you really telling me that you don't want to be bothered and you just trying to put it back on me. And who gets blamed? The kid. The kid
Well, no, really.
gets abused by the administration and policies all the time. Because whoever came up with that policy in New Jersey or in D.C. who says a kid can come to school late every day and there's nothing you can do about it is not caring about that child's future after school, because no job will let you keep that job if you're late every day.
You are so right about that.
You can't learn the job if you late every day.
You're right.
sound like an issue you want to tackle.
So attendance has to be first. You could be the best employee in the world. I don't know when you coming, you ain't working for me no more. So that's one thing that has to change in the school system, attendance. Next thing, hygiene. Okay, you can't come into class looking like you ain't supposed to, because now you disruptive. Because everybody's giving you more attention than the blackboard.
Or the whiteboard.
Whatever you want to call it, the green board, blue board, whatever the board, the front of the classroom.
Yeah.
Then there's another issue is you have a kid that's sitting in the back of the classroom. He ain't, and I'm telling you this is true. He's not going to tell you that he lost his glasses and his father whips him because he done lost 3 pair of glasses and refused to buy him another pair, all right? And he's sitting in the back of the classroom. He can't see what you're doing up front.
I have had
And
kids.
if you watch him read, only way if you sharp now, you'll see that he has this book like this.
That's if he's starting to read. That's if he's reading
All right.
it. That's
So
if
he
he's
needs
reading
help. Then if he can't hear, he's sitting in the back. All these little things are happening in the school, and these kids are being passed along, and then supposed to be an adult. Now the little girls are being passed along, and then they end up with a child. Now that doubles the problem, because you haven't prepared her how to take care of herself. How's she gonna take care of a child? Her mother's gone. Her father's locked up. These are the type of kids we have in our public schools and charter schools in the urban area. So we need a program that fits them, not a program that they have to fit.
So these are the kids with the difficulties. That
Difficulties.
Okay.
Difficulties.
All right. Well, we're going to end it. That's the perfect way to end this particular segment. And we're going to have our next segment after we come back for this break. But yeah, I didn't understand that. You know, kids that have disability as a kid who has difficulties.
Difficulties.
That's a good way different way of looking at it. Different way to see the perspective on that thing. All right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. We're going to come back again after this break, and we're going to learn more about Mr. Gary Barnes and the work that he does here in the Washington, D.C. area. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
Hi, and we're back, and we're here with our guest, Mr. Gary Barnes, and I'm here with my brother, Gregory Harris, looking spiffy in that vest here today. I like that look.
Trying to keep up with you, Veronica.
No, okay, you're trying to keep up with me. All right, so let's jump back into Mr. Barnes. So in the summertime, you said with the roving leaders, that's basically when you work with them. So during the rest of the year, what else are you doing?
I do the criminal investigation.
Okay.
And I help put together my program in New York, but that's a whole different subject with the Real Harlem. We use all year planning for the summer events.
Okay, well,
But
let's talk about that a little bit.
I volunteer to just help kids.
Okay, so that's
Like,
something you do voluntarily with the roving
I
leaders.
mean, if I see a boy down the street, sometimes I, I'll stop. And, you know, like I was riding in the Southeast this morning and the kid was dribbling down the street and I pulled over and said, it's too high. Put it down a little lower, you know, and he was bucking. And then when we talked, you know, he said, oh, you know, thank you. But he ain't scared me. You know, when I first approached him, he ain't used to that.
Right.
He's not used to no adults giving him no attention.
Veronica, how long do you, where do you volunteer at?
Why is it about me today? What is
it's
it
the
about
Veronica Harris Show.
Where
They
do
want
I-
to know about you. They
what
want to know
do I-
about you, Veronica.
The
The audience wants to know about
Well,
you.
there's a couple of charities that I volunteer for that I do work with. And of course, you know, I'm a teacher. I mean, everything.
Where do you teach at?
I teach at Edison High School in Edison, New Jersey.
Okay.
So I'm up there. That's where I put it. I mean, anybody who's a teacher, you know, I mean, it's always about, I mean, it's never about the time that you put in during school hours. It's the time that's afterwards, the time you spend, like when you're, you know, walking down the hallway and you have a student and you know, tell them to meet you, you know, after, and you're talking to them after school or you're talking to them before school. I mean, those are the hours that nobody ever sees. Nobody understands that you put in.
In coaching, you're doing a lot of volunteer work. You get a stipend, but you volunteering there.
Yeah, I mean, really, you are volunteering because nobody
I think
coaches.
you made up those charities, though.
I do.
You coach, though.
I do.
You
I
should
do.
say you coach. Don't say you did charities.
I do charities.
What charities?
The MS Society.
You never talked about them.
Well, that's not something for me to talk about. That's what I do. You know, I keep it to myself. But no, the coaching, I mean, anybody who coaches, especially at the high school level, you know you don't do it to make money. You do it because you want to help. And then, of course, you know, in the summertime, you know, I lead my group of kids, you know, overseas and do a lot of cultural exchanges and things of that nature. So, yes, I do a lot of, you know, things to help.
We have a teacher here that does that. Her name is Cora Gibson, and she takes a group of kids overseas every year. And she ran track too. She went to Howard, and she runs in the Masters track events, and she's real good. But she takes students to Africa, Europe, France every summer.
Oh, excellent. So I won't tell you where I'm going this year, but we'll see. You'll find out. Anyway, but I want to hear something about you said the real
Harlem basketball players.
Real Harlem basketball players. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a program or organization that started when we got tired of people from outside of Harlem telling our stories and wasn't telling them correctly. And it was the face of Harlem basketball was Pee Wee Kirkland, Joe Hammond, and Earl Manigault, and all us that lived there know that it's more than those three, you know, and it's some guys who have done much more as far as basketball. I mean, there's some guys like Jerry Harkness, most valuable player, 1963, NCAA finals against University of Cincinnati, two-time defending champ. He was from Harlem, but he don't get, and now he's doing great work in St. Louis, played in the NBA. Don't nobody speak about him. You know, we got Charlie Scott, first black ball player for North Carolina. One of the first blacks in the ACC. You know, we got Kareem Jabbar. You know, we got Willie Worsley, and we got so many guys that played basketball that were good and did some other things outside the court that need to be told. Just like DC, you know, every urban area has some guys that's not getting the attention that they should get, but you have a dude with the tragedies get all the attention.
Yeah.
So that means you gotta mess up before they tell your story.
You know, that's what and I hate to say it, but I kind of looked to you, Gregory. It seemed like, you know, you had your success and everything like that you had, but it seemed like you were always the good kid. You know, you got straight A's, you did everything you were supposed to do. You did it the way it was supposed to be done. But it seemed like if you wanted to be that player that got into a really good school, you had to come from some, like, and there's nothing wrong with come from humble beginnings. But it seemed like you needed to have, like, lost your dog and some other kind of tragedy before, you know, some of the school would want to look at you before they even thought to think that you had any kind of talent. I mean, like, whatever happened to just the regular...
It's not so much the schools. It's about you getting attention in your hometown.
Right.
That's more bigger than the school, okay? It's like your brother shouldn't have to go overseas and be saluted and come back home and don't nobody even know he here. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if he gets in trouble, when he gets off the plane, it's like, there go Greg who snatched the pocketbook. You know, it's not Greg who went overseas and did some good things. He don't get no attention. And this happens in a lot of our urban areas.
But
then when you go in the other community, all right, this guy who just had a great career in high school in this little town in Texas, right? Got a street named after him. He get free haircut rest of his life. Walk down the street, everybody remembers from high school. We don't get that in our community. It's almost like you think you better than us.
No, but it seemed like
I'm just saying.
No,
you
I
think
do,
you better.
No.
Same thing with you. You a female. You was an athlete. Do they honor you for what you have done in your community where you grew up at?
I mean, but that's not what I ever looked for either.
But it ain't what you looking for, but you would love it if it came.
Oh, who is it?
I mean, you know, you go in the mirror every morning and get right, so you care. It ain't like you walk outside looking like anything. So you care what people think.
True.
All of us do.
Right.
And we need to, as a people, start paying attention to the good and stop giving so much attention to the bad. Because the kids are watching. So if the kids see that Johnny goes to Lawton and come home and y'all give him a neighborhood cookout, and Greg go to college and come home, he don't get nothing. So if I'm a little boy, you know nobody explain this to me, what you think I want to be? The college guy or the jail guy? I want that cookout. So this is the message our little kids are seeing, and then we trying to hold them responsible when they do stuff that they seen us do. Because they don't do nothing but repeat what they see.
Let's say the kids are watching.
All right? So my father smoked dope, and I smoked dope, but I'm in trouble. I learned it from him. My father walked with his pants down. I got my pants down. Y'all all holler at me, but my father do it. So we got to watch what we putting in front of these kids. Because right now, what we getting back is what we showed them.
The chickens are coming home to roost.
You know what happened the other day?
What?
You know, took my son to play some ball, and you know, on the court, your parents kind of mean something. But I used to freak guys out all the time by, you know, wearing sweatpants.
Right.
So I get them, you know, they don't guard me. They leave me open. I hit my first 4 or 5 jump shots before they know what's going on. So my son wore some sweatpants out there, and he didn't understand why nobody passed him the ball.
Because you don't look like Michael Jordan.
You don't look like
you can play.
You got on sweatpants. You don't look like you can play. But he seen me do that. I messed it up. Dang.
But again,
You didn't mess it up.
Yeah, he wore sweatpants because he seen me wear sweatpants.
But what's wrong with wearing sweatpants though?
It didn't work for him like it worked for his father.
It didn't work for him because
Well,
they're not going to pass you the ball.
Well, he's not a good player.
Well,
I should have told him don't wear sweatpants. Like Tank just said. Paying attention.
you got to paint them a better picture.
I got to paint a
You
better
got to paint a picture. If you want some results, you got to paint them a better picture.
You play better. I seen Chris.
I mean, my generation, all of our parents, they come from the South, just like your father come from the South. They all had guns, but we ain't know it. Now,
That's right.
you know everything about your parents. We was told kids should be seen.
Not heard.
And not heard. Do what I tell you, don't do what I do. Now, you know, you got kids having arguments with their parents in the street.
Child, you see parents standing with their daughters' tongue out on
And
Instagram,
you don't know who,
like
and you don't know who the parent or who daughter. They
you
look
know
just
what I'm saying?
alike.
I'm like tongue sticking out, talking about, yeah, we come from the.
And
like,
remember what they say? Walk like a duck,
Talk
quack
like
like a duck, look like a duck, must be a duck. Now, I ain't gonna tell you what the other way you say that too.
Tank, he was saying, you know, they were giving them incorrect stories out there. What was one of the ones you had to clear up, or you made your business to clear up because you ain't like, you know?
Well, I got mad with the fact that, like, Joe Hammond is a friend of mine, and he had some great days when he was young, and he's not doing too good right now. And I got some friends from down south in the process right now of replacing both his hips and giving him a new set of teeth so that they can put him on TV looking good. Okay. But we had a lot of people would come up there and put a camera in front of him and tell his story and sell his story, but he don't get nothing about it. And they still glamorizing everything that he done negative, just like Earl Manigault. You know, Earl was a good friend and a good dude, but he's known more for the tragic part of his life than the basketball. You know, the tragedy brings you to the basketball. Same thing with Pee Wee, you know, the tragedy and then it's basketball. Now, we got guys that did the same thing they did that never got in trouble, never used drugs, never been to jail. Don't nobody talk about them.
Right.
I mean, I got one friend, he's a retired judge, used to play ball. Kids don't know nothing about him. So now in the last 3 years, this is our going into our third year, we making it our business that every summer on the Rucker Playground, we're going to get as many guys back that used to play basketball in Harlem, that grew up in Harlem in the projects and all that, that's successful. We ain't leaving out the guys that ain't do it, they welcome to, but our main focus is to let these young kids in Harlem right now see all these men who came from this neighborhood that are doing good, and you can do the same thing, brother. You know, you got a flat screen TV now. We grew up with one TV in the whole house for everybody. So you have more than what we had, but you're doing less.
Wow.
Because people are allowing it. You know, you were being took to practice by your parents. We had to walk or catch the bus, sneak on the train. Our parents ain't take us to no practices,
I rode my bike.
pick us up. You know, you got all the stuff going for you, but you're abusing it. You know, you're taking advantage of people. And then when stuff hit the fan, you want somebody to feel sorry for you. Ain't a story y'all got right now that ain't been already told.
That's what I tell them.
Y'all are not
time.
first.
Yes.
You know, when you first, somebody feel sorry for you.
Preach.
But when you the second one, you should have learned from the first one.
There you go. Preach,
So
there it
lock
is.
him up.
Well, you know what? That is, you have really said it just about right there. You know, there's nothing new under the sun. I always say, what you're doing, what you're trying to do, I've done it 2 or 3 times. So you're not.
Some of it.
Yeah, some of it. Not
Some of the
illegal
stuff somebody else done. I ain't doing that.
Not somebody else done.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Don't try to say you done it all, because then they be like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Really?
That's true.
Really?
That's true. I can't claim all that stuff. But at this point, this brings us to the What is Veronica Thinking segment. And at this point, we talk about what Veronica is thinking. But I think today I want to open it up to my guests. And I'm going to say, Mr. Barnes, what is it that you're thinking about today?
I'm thinking that I wish it could be a time. Just like some old people wish that they could see a black president and they wish came true. You ever see the older people that they never thought it would happen. So that didn't happen. Now, I wish, right, that we will have no more kids in trouble. I wish that a person in a job that deals with bad kids becomes unemployed.
Okay.
You know, because you got to understand how many people are employed because of bad kids. So do you really think they want to, you know, stop bad kids? So I don't trust a lot of them neither.
Or the prison industry, the prison
All
industrial
that, all
complex?
that
Oh,
could
my
go.
God.
All that could go. Because when it first started, we wasn't even included. You know, when they first started penitentiaries in Pennsylvania, and the word penitentiary comes from pennant, which is a Quaker rule
repent.
where everybody was put in the room with the Bible at the end of the bed, and the God gonna change it. That's where it started at. But we didn't go to them places. See, we got hung.
Ooh.
See, we didn't go to prison. You know, we wasn't the first bank robbers. Any law that they have a law for, they didn't make it for us, because we got hung.
Ooh.
You know, they went to prison.
Okay.
So I wish it could go back the way it used to be. Except for don't hang us, you know, because we ain't doing nothing wrong.
All right. So that's what it is. So for What is Veronica Thinking, our theme is I wish. And that I wish things could go, not back to where they were, but I wish that there would be no more kids in trouble, and that people that do the job that you do would become unemployed. Because if that happened, that means kids are being successful, they're reaching their full potential, and they're living the lives that they're supposed to be. Gregory, quick word from you.
I wish I can get on that program that goes to Africa. I want to travel to Africa.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Barnes, for coming. Please, you are always welcome here on the show, and we support you in everything that you do. And we would like to thank everyone for watching us here today, and we'll see you again next time.